Hi, I'm Heather Scott. I'm a partner at Gill Jennings Every, which is a specialist IP law firm in London. I'm a UK and European patent attorney. And today I'm going to be giving you a quick introduction to trademarks. So trademarks is a type of intellectual property which is relevant to, frankly, everyone, every business that sells goods or services. They all have at least one brand, even if it's just the company name as a whole. And trademarks exist to help protect that brand. So what is a trademark? Really, this is anything which can act to identify your company as the origin of a product or service. In other words, it tells the customer that this is your product or service and not somebody else's. So just to give you some examples, there are some really obvious types of trademark. So a company name like the word Starbucks or Audi. Also the logos that they use. So here the famous Starbucks mermaid logo or the 4 interlocking rings for Audi. But also the taglines and slogans that companies use. So for example, McDonald's famous line, "I'm loving it," and Kit Kat's "have a break." And then in some cases, it can even be possible to protect shapes. A great example there is the well-known Coca-Cola bottle. You definitely know that a drink in a bottle of that shape comes from the company Coca-Cola. Sometimes sounds. So for example, very distinctive advert jingles can be protected. And in rare occasions, it's even possible to protect scents. So I mean the smell of an object. The most famous example there is that a company managed to protect the smell of freshly cut grass for tennis balls. So all of these brand identifiers, they hold a lot of value for the company. And they do that because they distinguish the product or service from those of your competitors. They also act as a mark of quality for the product or service in question, and they attract custom through brand reputation. Ultimately, they enable repeat business, which would not be possible without them. And if somebody else starts using the same or similar brand identifiers, that can create real problems for your business. For example, the customers might buy your competitor's product by mistake or on purpose if your competitor is undercutting you. It can also damage your brand's reputation if their product is of an inferior quality to yours. It prevents you standing out in the marketplace, and ultimately you can lose control of your brand. So how can you prevent that from happening? Well, the best way to do that is to protect your brand identifiers by obtaining a registered trademark for each of them. It's really important to note here that just registering your company name on Companies House or registering a website address, for example, they do not protect you. They only stop other people from registering exactly the same thing. It does not stop them using your name or logo or something similar in the marketplace. So there are lots of advantages to getting a registered trademark. It gives you a stronger legal position and more control over your brand. In a few countries, there are some rights which might exist automatically without requiring registration, but it's always cheaper and easier to enforce a registered right, like a registered trademark, mainly because you don't have to start by proving that the right exists in the first place. You just have a certificate to do that for you. It is also an asset, like the other types of IP right that exist, which adds value to your company. So, for example, it will attract investors, and you can consider licensing it out. Getting a registered trademark is also what allows you to use the little R in a circle beside your marks instead of just the letters TM, which acts as a much stronger deterrent to other parties. So, how do you go about registering your mark? Well, in order to successfully register your mark, it needs to meet a number of criteria. The first of those is that it must be distinctive and not descriptive of the products or services in question. So to illustrate that with some examples, the word Amazon is a great mark for books, but it's not so great for something like Jungle River Cruise Holidays. It would be considered too descriptive there. Another example is the word Apple, and that is a great mark for computers, but not for fruit. In the world of fruit, too many people need to be able to use the word apple in order for it to be registered. Secondly, the mark must be sufficiently different from anyone else's marks which are already being used or registered for similar goods or services. So when you're selecting names and logos for your company and your products, it's really important to bear these things in mind. The best way to find out whether your mark might be registrable is to talk to a trademark attorney. And in particular, they'll be able to help you carry out searches to find out what marks are already registered and might pose obstacles. If you'd like to find out more information, you can visit our website, which is www.gje.com. You can email me, heather.scott@gje.com, and connect with me on LinkedIn. Thanks very much.